It all started with a quiet meeting behind closed doors at the Indiana Fever training facility. On the 8th of July, 2025, Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull sat down together not for a casual catch-up, but for a strategic move that would send shockwaves through the WNBA. The basketball world had no idea what was about to happen. Clark, fresh off an electrifying rookie season where she redefined what it means to be a star in women's sports, has quickly become the face of a new era. Sophie Cunningham, a seasoned veteran who's experienced the highs and lows of the league, has never been shy about speaking her mind. And Lexi Hull, the promising young talent whose influence is growing every day, represents the future of the game. Together, they form a trio with the potential to shift the balance of power in the WNBA. Their decision was a bold one. What they revealed to their inner circle was more than just a plan, it was a declaration. The three athletes, who come from different teams and different points in their careers, have formed a united front that's aiming to change the league from the inside out. This wasn't just about advocating for themselves, it was about advocating for every player in the league, past, present, and future. Behind the scenes, they are plotting a movement that could set a new course for the WNBA. And it's not just about improving pay, it's about creating real change for every player. Caitlyn Clark brings the star power, Sophie Cunningham brings the experience, and Lexi Hull brings the voice of the next generation. Together, they have the potential to lead a transformation that goes beyond basketball. This is about respect. This is about player rights. And this is about ensuring that the women who give everything to the game aren't left behind once the spotlight fades. The WNBA has always been a league where passion meets struggle, where talent fights against the odds for recognition and respect. And at the forefront of this struggle are the three women driving this monumental movement: Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull. Each one brings something unique to the table, and together, they represent a powerful alliance that could challenge the very system they're part of. Caitlyn Clark, the 2024 top draft pick, has already cemented herself as one of the league's brightest stars. Her performances on the court have been nothing short of explosive, filling arenas and breaking viewership records. But it's more than just her on-court prowess that has captured the world's attention. Caitlyn has become a cultural icon, a brand. Her presence on social media, her viral highlights, and her massive fan base have brought a new wave of interest and investment into the WNBA. She's more than just a player, she's the face of a new generation, and with that comes power. Power that she's starting to leverage for something bigger than herself. Clark is beginning to use her platform to highlight the deeper issues players face, including the crushing financial realities of playing in the WNBA, where stars like her are still bound by salary caps that don't reflect their true worth. Sophie Cunningham, on the other hand, brings invaluable experience and raw honesty to the table. As a veteran of the WNBA, Cunningham has seen it all, both the triumphs and the struggles. She's played through injuries, fought for respect in a league that has long undervalued its players, and even spent off seasons playing overseas just to make ends meet. But Sophie is more than just a tough competitor. She's a fierce advocate for change. With years of experience under her belt, she's no stranger to the league's flaws, and she's not afraid to speak up. Cunningham's voice has always been a source of strength for the players, and now she's using that strength to fight for every woman in the WNBA. Her focus isn't just on herself, it's on creating a future where players don't have to face the same struggles she did. Then, there's Lexi Hull, the rising star with a bright future ahead. A Stanford graduate and a first-round draft pick, Hull has quickly made a name for herself with the Indiana Fever. But Lexi is more than just a young talent on the rise. She represents the next wave of players who are entering a league that's still figuring out how to fully support the next generation. Hull's voice is powerful not just because of her talent, but because she understands what the future holds. She's part of a generation of players who aren't willing to settle for the status quo. They want better. They want a league where young players don't have to struggle to make ends meet, where their potential is nurtured, and where their careers can be sustainable long-term. Together, these three women form a coalition that spans generations, career stages, and playing styles. Their alliance isn't just about supporting each other, it's about creating a better future for the entire league. They're not just here to play basketball, they're here to change the game. Despite the growing popularity of the WNBA, the league has long been plagued by issues that players have quietly endured for years. While the spotlight on women's basketball has never been brighter, the pay gap, short careers, and lack of long-term support continue to overshadow the progress. Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull are stepping into this arena not just as players, but as leaders demanding real change. The pay gap is one of the most glaring issues. For years, WNBA players have fought for salaries that reflect their talent, influence, and the value they bring to the game. Yet, even the top stars like Caitlyn Clark are still restricted by outdated salary caps. While viewership and sponsorship deals are at an all-time high, the financial compensation for players has remained disproportionately low. A top draft pick like Clark should be one of the highest paid athletes in the league, but instead, she's still underpaid compared to her male counterparts in other professional sports. It's a system that limits the financial growth of players who are breaking records, filling arenas, and bringing in massive audiences. This disparity is not just a financial injustice, it's a missed opportunity for the league to grow and evolve into a true professional sports league that values its athletes. But the pay gap is only one part of the problem. Player health and safety are also critical concerns. With the WNBA's grueling travel schedule, players often endure long flights, tight timelines, and lack of adequate recovery time. This wear and tear on their bodies, combined with a lack of adequate medical care and support, makes it difficult for players to have long, healthy careers. Unlike their male counterparts in the NBA, WNBA players don't have the luxury of rest and recovery programs that ensure they're able to perform at their peak. This creates a vicious cycle where players are forced to play through injuries just to make ends meet, which takes a long-term toll on their health. Even more troubling is the lack of career sustainability. Many players are forced to look for opportunities overseas during the off-season just to secure enough income to survive. This need to play internationally, often under unsafe or less than ideal conditions, is a harsh reality for athletes who should be focused on developing their careers in the WNBA. The financial strain forces many to work multiple jobs just to keep their careers afloat. The constant hustle between leagues not only limits players' growth, but also compromises their long-term well-being. What's worse, when a player's career ends, there's little support in place to help them transition to life after basketball. Unlike other major professional leagues, the WNBA lacks robust programs that offer financial planning, career development, or life after sports support. Players like Cunningham, who've spent years battling through the highs and lows of a short-lived career, have seen firsthand how these issues affect the mental health and well-being of athletes. This has left many players feeling as though they're being used as entertainers rather than respected professionals. Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull understand the harsh realities these players face, and they're determined to push for reforms that go beyond just improving pay. It's about creating a league that treats its players with the respect they deserve, not just as athletes, but as professionals who deserve sustainable careers, financial stability, and long-term support. These three women are uniting to tackle these deeply rooted issues head-on. Their alliance is not just about securing a better future for themselves, it's about fighting for every player, from rookies to veterans, to ensure that future generations don't face the same struggles. It's about ensuring that the WNBA grows into a league that values the women who put everything on the line for the game they love. The mission behind Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull's groundbreaking movement is about far more than securing better pay. While compensation is at the forefront, these three athletes are focused on transforming the very fabric of the WNBA. They're fighting for something deeper: respect, control, and sustainable careers that don't end when the final whistle blows. At the core of their mission is the drive to elevate player rights across the league. For years, the voices of WNBA players have been drowned out by the narrative that women's sports should be grateful for the attention they get. Clark, Cunningham, and Hull are determined to rewrite this narrative. They're not just advocating for higher salaries, they're pushing for a system that values the players beyond their on-court performance. Their vision is clear. They want to reshape the WNBA into a league where athletes are empowered to take control of their careers from the moment they're drafted until their final game. They're demanding long-term support, not just during the season, but throughout their careers. This means pushing for better healthcare, retirement plans, and post-career opportunities. No longer should WNBA players be forced to play overseas or juggle side jobs just to make ends meet. The league has grown immensely in recent years, and it's time that growth benefits the athletes who make it all possible. It's also about shifting the power dynamics within the league. Right now, too many decisions are made without the direct input of the players who are most affected. By creating a united front, Clark, Cunningham, and Hull are fighting for a seat at the table. They're calling for more player representation in league discussions, whether it's about collective bargaining agreements, travel policies, or even decisions on new television deals and sponsorships. Their goal is to ensure that the women who dedicate their lives to this game have a say in shaping its future. In addition to financial reform, their mission includes creating a league that supports players' mental health and well-being. Too often, the pressures of being a professional athlete on top of all the financial uncertainty take a toll on players' mental health. Sophie Cunningham, in particular, knows this all too well. She's battled through injuries, burnout, and the mental strain of trying to succeed in a league that doesn't always have its players' best interests at heart. This movement is about bringing attention to those issues and ensuring that the mental health of athletes is prioritized alongside their physical care. But their fight isn't just about making noise, it's about creating lasting change. It's about ensuring that when players like Caitlyn Clark step onto the court, they're not just representing themselves, they're representing every woman who has ever played in the WNBA and every woman who will come after them. Their mission is bigger than just the three of them. It's a movement that could shape the future of women's sports across the world. This is about laying down a blueprint for the next generation of players to have the career stability and support that past generations could only dream of. Together, these three women are standing at the forefront of a revolution that aims to elevate the WNBA from a league that's seen as secondary to a true global powerhouse in sports. They're not just fighting for better pay, they're fighting for a future where women athletes have the same opportunities, respect, and financial stability as their male counterparts. And they're just getting started. What makes the alliance between Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull so powerful isn't just their individual talents or accomplishments, it's the way they've come together across team lines, age gaps, and career stages. In a league where competition often pits players against each other, this unprecedented collaboration sends a loud, clear message. Unity is strength. The WNBA has long been a league where players fight against the system, but often those fights happen individually. It's rare to see players from different teams and different generations come together for a common cause. That's what makes this alliance so significant. These three women are showing the world that collective action is the key to real change. Their decision to unite, despite their differing backgrounds, demonstrates that the WNBA's players are stronger together than apart. Caitlyn Clark, the rising star who has already captivated fans worldwide, is taking the spotlight in ways few have before. She represents the future of the league, a new wave of superstars who are bringing fresh energy and unprecedented popularity to women's basketball. But Clark knows that her success isn't just about her. She understands the responsibility that comes with her platform, and she's using it to elevate the voices of those who have been overlooked. Her partnership with Cunningham and Hull highlights the importance of mentorship in building a more supportive league for the next generation. Sophie Cunningham, a veteran of the WNBA, is bringing years of experience, grit, and wisdom to the table. Having played through the ups and downs of the league, Cunningham knows firsthand the challenges players face both on and off the court. She's seen the flaws of the system, and now she's using her voice to advocate for those who are still struggling. Her strength and authenticity provide the foundation for the movement that Clark and Hull are helping to lead. Cunningham's journey is a testament to the power of persistence, and she's proving that age doesn't limit impact. Instead, it deepens it. Then there's Lexi Hull, the rising star who represents the future of the WNBA. Hull brings a fresh perspective to the alliance, one that is shaped by the aspirations and struggles of the next generation of players. At just the start of her career, Hull is already showing leadership beyond her years. She represents the dreams of countless young athletes trying to make it in a system that hasn't always been supportive. By joining forces with Clark and Cunningham, Hull is stepping into a leadership role that sets the tone for what's to come. a league where young players no longer have to choose between chasing their dreams and securing their future. What's remarkable about this alliance is how it crosses generational divides. Players like Cunningham, who have spent years fighting for respect, are now working side by side with the next generation, represented by Clark and Hull. The unity of these three women showcases the power of collaboration across age groups. It's not about one generation pushing out the other, it's about both generations working together to create a better future. Their partnership is the embodiment of progress, taking the best elements of the past, present, and future, and merging them to create something stronger. This kind of unity is rare in professional sports, especially in a league like the WNBA, where resources are limited and players often have to fend for themselves. But this trio is proving that change doesn't come from division, it comes from unity. Together, they're sending a message to the league, to the fans, and to the world. Players are done waiting for change to come. They are creating it. The alliance between Clark, Cunningham, and Hull is more than just a partnership, it's a movement. It's a powerful reminder that when players stand together, regardless of team, age, or career stage, they become an unstoppable force. This is just the beginning. As their collective voice grows louder, so too will their ability to create lasting change in the WNBA and beyond. What makes this moment even more powerful is the timing. The WNBA is in the midst of an explosive growth period. Viewership is at an all-time high, sponsors are pouring in, and global attention on women's sports has never been greater. But with this growth comes an opportunity and a responsibility for the league to finally step up and support its players the way they deserve. Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull have entered the spotlight at precisely the right moment. The WNBA is at a crossroads, and decisions being made today will determine the future of the league for years to come. There are big conversations happening right now about expanding the league, securing new television deals, and renegotiating collective bargaining agreements. These three women know that when players stand together, especially with the kind of influence they hold, the league has no choice but to listen. The spotlight on women's basketball is brighter than ever, but it hasn't always translated into financial or institutional support for players. This is where Clark, Cunningham, and Hull's alliance becomes even more significant. They're not just advocating for better pay or working conditions, they're calling for a system overhaul. They're demanding that the WNBA capitalize on its newfound attention and create sustainable changes that will support players for years to come. More and more, WNBA players are becoming brand ambassadors, role models, and advocates, gaining massive followings and corporate sponsorships. Clark has already brought in more fans and corporate money than the league has ever seen, shattering records and establishing herself as the face of a new era. But this isn't just about Clark. It's about all the players who have yet to reach that level of fame and are still struggling to make ends meet. With Lexi Hull, still early in her career, representing the future, and Sophie Cunningham bringing the voice of experience, they are fighting for the future of the game, ensuring that the next generation of players don't have to face the same obstacles. Together, they form a united front, one that speaks for rookies trying to break in, veterans nearing retirement, and everyone in between. Their push for better pay and better working conditions is as much about legacy as it is about change. It's about making sure the league isn't just profitable, it's equitable for everyone who wears a WNBA jersey. Right now, the WNBA has the unique opportunity to redefine its future. With all the momentum behind them, Clark, Cunningham, and Hull are positioning themselves to be the ones who lead the charge. They understand that this moment, this critical window of opportunity, could be the turning point for the league. But that also means that if they succeed, they could be changing not just the WNBA, but the entire landscape of women's sports. The timing couldn't be more important. The WNBA is on the rise, and the players who are pushing for change are finally being heard. Now, it's time to turn that momentum into action. With Clark's star power, Cunningham's experience, and Hull's rising influence, they're in the perfect position to push for the lasting, meaningful change that will benefit every player who steps onto the court. And with the world watching, it's clear that their movement is more than just a fleeting moment, it's the beginning of something historic. What's happening behind the scenes with Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull isn't just about the WNBA. It's about a larger shift in the landscape of women's sports globally. The ripple effect of their movement could extend far beyond basketball, influencing everything from soccer and tennis to track, gymnastics, and even the Olympics. This trio is tackling the deep-rooted issues that women athletes across all sports face, whether it's low pay, lack of career sustainability, or insufficient support systems. Their mission is not only about securing better contracts or improved working conditions, it's about creating a blueprint for the future of women's sports. Caitlyn Clark's influence as one of the most marketable athletes in the world has already shown the commercial potential of women's sports. The moment she stepped onto the court, the WNBA saw its fan base grow exponentially, its merchandise fly off the shelves, and its television ratings soar. But while the league has capitalized on her star power, it's clear the system still hasn't caught up to the reality of how much she and others like her bring to the table. Now, Clark, Cunningham, and Hull are working together to ensure that the future of women's sports is one where athletes are not just treated like entertainers, but are supported as professionals. They are pushing for long-term sustainability, for a league where players don't have to fear the financial instability that comes with a career in women's basketball. The aim isn't just a few quick fixes, but the creation of a system that supports players from draft day to retirement, offering better financial stability, more robust healthcare, and opportunities that extend well beyond their playing years. By standing together, this trio is sending a powerful message not just to the WNBA, but to the entire sports world. It's time for women athletes to be treated with the same respect and professionalism as their male counterparts. The way Clark, Cunningham, and Hull are tackling the systemic issues within the league shows that unity can spark a much-needed transformation. They understand that change is never easy, but with their combined voices, they have the power to turn their vision into a reality. And this isn't just about one league, this is about all women's sports. By creating a successful model for change in the WNBA, Caitlyn, Sophie, and Lexi are laying the groundwork for future athletes in every sport. The strength of their movement lies in its universal appeal. When women athletes fight for better pay, respect, and support, it resonates across all sectors of sports. This could be the moment where the foundation of women's sports shifts to one built on equity and respect, with athletes finally at the center of the conversation. This is the beginning of something much bigger, a movement that transcends teams, leagues, and sports. It's about empowering women athletes, giving them the tools to succeed both during and after their careers, and ensuring they are valued in the way they deserve. The impact of their fight could change how women's sports are viewed, supported, and marketed, creating a legacy of respect that will resonate for generations. As Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull continue to build momentum, the WNBA and women's sports as a whole stands at the precipice of a new era. What these three women are doing goes beyond mere advocacy. They're crafting a blueprint for the future of the game, and the potential for transformation is unprecedented. Their alliance isn't just a fight for fair pay, it's a stand for every athlete who has ever felt undervalued, underpaid, or overlooked. The future of women's basketball is on the verge of change. With Clark's superstar power, Cunningham's leadership experience, and Hull's fresh, bold perspective, this trio is creating a foundation for a league that could support its players not just during their careers, but for the long haul. They are pushing for systemic changes that ensure all players have access to healthcare, financial stability, and career development that extends far beyond the basketball court. They're demanding a future where women athletes aren't just seen as entertainers, but as professionals who are respected, valued, and supported by their leagues and fans alike. It's no longer just about breaking barriers on the court. It's about ensuring that the next generation of athletes doesn't have to fight the same battles. The WNBA's explosive growth and newfound global attention present a unique opportunity for players to take control of their future and to demand the respect they've earned. This isn't just about pay reform or new television deals. It's about shaping a sustainable, equitable, and professional league that provides every player with the resources they need to thrive long after their final game. The power of unity, of coming together across team lines, career stages, and generations cannot be overstated. Clark, Cunningham, and Hull are not just changing the WNBA, they're paving the way for women's sports globally. They understand that their efforts will have a ripple effect, inspiring not just basketball players, but athletes in every sport to stand up and speak out for better treatment, better pay, and more opportunities. They are building a movement that transcends basketball, one that will be felt in every locker room, every training facility, and every arena where women athletes compete. So, as the 2025 WNBA season looms and the spotlight shines brighter than ever, it's clear. This is just the beginning. Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull are not just players, they are trailblazers. Their push for change will define the future of the WNBA, and if their vision comes to life, they will change the entire landscape of women's sports. The future they're building isn't just for them, it's for every athlete who dares to dream, fight, and succeed in a world where they are finally valued for all they bring to the game. As Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull continue to fight for change, their movement is evolving into something that could redefine the entire landscape of women's sports. What started as a behind-the-scenes meeting has become a powerful alliance that is shaking the foundations of the WNBA and pushing for reforms that could echo across all professional sports. These women aren't just playing the game, they're changing it. The road ahead won't be easy, and the fight for equal pay, better working conditions, and long-term support for women athletes will continue. But with their combined voices and unwavering commitment to the cause, Clark, Cunningham, and Hull have set the stage for something monumental. They're not just demanding change, they're creating it. They've shown that when players unite, when they come together across all boundaries, they have the power to bring about real, lasting transformation. So, as this movement gains traction, we must ask ourselves, what kind of future do we want for women's sports? Do we want a future where athletes are paid fairly, respected equally, and supported throughout their careers? Or will we continue to allow the barriers that have held women back to remain in place? The path to a more equitable future is being paved right now by these three women and all those who join their fight. What happens next could change everything. The WNBA is at a crossroads, and the decisions made in the coming months will determine whether this league, this sport, will finally live up to its full potential. Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull have already made history. Now, they're ready to make sure that history is just the beginning.